Welcome back, everyone, to Young at Heart, session 79E, as in excellent, and also E as in my brother Edward. This is the final part of the grand tour, and we're just going quickly through as I bring you to the back wall of my room. You've seen all these wonderful things. I have been so blessed, and you can see I contributed to the economy and to the arts as a Paulist father so we can keep everything in conversation. I lift up my family. You've seen so many family photos because you all remind me, and faith reminds me that you're all my family and that families are important. I promise to give you a little insight here to these wonderful watercolors and my saints to bring our tour to conclusion. Here is a great picture of me with my sister Jeannie and Charles' brother-in-law Charles's children. There's Justine, Veronica, and Dallas. We spent a summer vacation together. And then as I pull back, you see this marvelous watercolor. And what is this and why was I given it? On the left, the larger part of the watercolor is a painting by Chris Green. He's a wonderful, gifted artist. He was also a great singer, one of our main cantors at the Church of St. Paul the Apostle in Los Angeles. He is, so gifted. When I was leaving St. Paul the Apostle in LA, he painted this triptych, and I have to stop saying and the whole choir pitched in for his work and for framing this for me. At the main part, this is the part of the rectory at St. Paul. It's a main house with this addition, this wing that was added on over the years. My room was in the wing, so if you cross this courtyard, you would be at the main house. I was living in the wing there. You see the steps going up to my room, so they thought that would be a fine memento, and I loved all those cypress trees on the property of the parish in Westwood, Los Angeles. Further to the right is, I'll get you a close-up here of the outside of the church itself. There it is. And below, the sanctuary of the church in Los Angeles. Now, to conclude, here's my communion of saints. They're pewter, our Paulist. How did I get these? To support the parish here in New York City, our bookstore, which is a fundraiser, Welcome Center, is a fundraiser for the parish. And I thought, all right, little by little, over the years, I collected these pewter statues of my patron saints. And they're each about the size of a thumb, you can see there. Okay, so you have a sense of the proportion. We start with, of course, Mary, Mother of God, and the infant Jesus. The Blessed Virgin Mary is the patron of all priests. We need her motherly guidance. St. Francis of Assisi, to remind us to be humble, to keep us honoring all of creation, including and especially the animals. So he's always important to me and to the church. Behind St. Francis is St. Joseph the worker. There he is to remind us that work is a gift and to be able to be responsible and use our talents well. And then in front of St. Joseph, we have St. Anne, the mother of Mary, and Mary as a child. Another one of my missions, in addition to the Gospel of Luke, includes the Proto-Evangelium of James, a 2nd century church document that deals with Mary's childhood, her infancy and childhood, and we learn about her mother, Anne, and her father, Joachim, or Joachim as you may like to pronounce it. So I've memorized some of that, and I've presented that in dramatic form, particularly at a number of St. Anne parishes. Usually in the summer, there is a week of a novena to St. Anne in July. Her feast is July 24th. Behind St. Anne is Michael the Archangel. As you mentioned, Michael's my middle name, James Michael Paul Deluzio. So he's another patron to give me courage. And in front is St. Paul the Apostle. I'm James Michael Paul. At a time when I had no interest in the priesthood, Paul became my confirmation name. So God has interesting plans for us, doesn't he? Who knew? I hadn't even heard of the Paulist Fathers when I chose Paul as my confirmation name. Behind St. Paul, we have St. Luke, who is my patron, my inspiration for my primary Paulist ministry called Luke Live. If you haven't checked my website out, I'm lukelive.com, and I'm still working on and continuing to grow in my dramatic proclamation of the Gospel of Luke with preaching and song meditations. Behind him is St. Genesius, the patron of all actors. Once an actor, always an actor, like Pope St. John Paul II. I was an actor before I was a priest and a teacher, so I like the idea of St. Genesius being around, his statue to remind me that God works through artists. And lastly, my name patron, St. James the Apostle. There's two St. James, actually. I don't have a second pewter statue. There's James the Greater and James the Less. I'm sure I'm a combination of both of them. And so we move away. You see again my CDs of all, this is all my theater music, which got me more into classical music actually, and opera. I think I've shown you all the pictures pretty much. My mom and Vincent, again when Vincent was 3 or 4, and then Addison in this wonderful little kind of daguerreotype kind of thing. And oh, here's a picture of Grace, a little more recent. My goddaughter, Nicholas Markel's daughter. So here we are, back to the icons above the bed. My bed friends, again, the books that I've all started but haven't finished, and bringing me back to the piano and the sound of music, which is very important for all of us. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll say goodbye to all my little friends and mementos, and we'll go right back. Isaac Hecker, open the door to let you out. You'll see Father Tom Holohan's door is across from me, and we'll lead you right back to, oh, I didn't show you these, or maybe I did, on the opposite side of my wall. This is another Nick Markel watercolor, Abraham, which I love that. And then here, a poster given to me, framed by the people who attended a mission that I gave on prophets of the Old Testament and Saint Anne and Joachim. All right, off you go. Thanks so much for being with me. Bye, everyone. God bless, stay healthy, and God bless. Bye.